Hello students, welcome to MBA 360. When students look for an MBA outside the IIMs, Nirma University is one of the few names that consistently appears for the right reasons also, if I may say. Its academic rigor, its discipline, its campus culture and its strong corporate connect, especially so in Eastern India. The Institute of Management, Nirma University, has been running this program for the last 2 decades. It is ACSB accredited, which is one of the most reputed global accreditations that you have in the world. It is also known for its residential case-based learning and with a very clear focus on industry readiness rather than marketing hype. In this video, what we're going to do is we'll break it down. Who should choose Nirma? Who should not choose Nirma? And what does the data really say about its placements, the roles that they're offered, and the kind of ROI that you can expect if you were to join Nirma University? Let me break you through, right? And before I move any further, if you're not subscribed to MBA 360, please do it right now. It's important for you to show your support to us. As much as the kind of work we're doing, we need a lot of support from all of you. Right. Now let's talk of Nirma University and what's the selection process, the eligibility criteria, weightages, placements, everything we're going to discuss here. Now, Nirma was founded in 2003, right? Now this 2003, so 2 decades we talked about, right? Now, since then, it's been having this Institute of Management, which is a part of Nirma University. It's one of the schools that you have in Nirma University, which is into management education only, right? It's a state private university. Nirma University is a state private university. It's spread over 110 acres. It's actually a very beautiful campus, very close to the Ahmedabad airport, but very beautiful campus. I've been there multiple times over and it's very well spread and those kind of things, right? The management ranking, the MBA ranking, this is MBA ranking, remember this? This is not Nirma University ranking, it's the Institute of Management of Nirma University which is ranked 53rd best management school in the country. Now that's a very good measure, mind you, because if you take the top 50 there, about 25-30 are normally the IIMs and the DOMs of the IITs and so on, the public institutions. Very few are private. So there, if you could get 53rd best ranking, it's very good. The total number of students is 975 across both the batches, the first year and second year, and of which 62% are boys and 38% are girls, which is again a very good diversity, if I may say so. Because when you essentially what you're saying is every 2 in 5 students is a girl, which is a very good measure at this point in time, right? And about 62% students come from outside the state of Gujarat, which also actually explains how the university is so good that students from all over the country actually want to join in, that it's no longer a local institution, it's actually a very reputed and credible institution, which is where students from all over the country are going and landing up there, because 62% students are coming from outside the state of Gujarat, right? And the faculty is 65, which is again good because when you look at it from 975, you're dealing with a 1:15 kind of a faculty-student ratio, which is very good. Right. So that is the basic data as far as Nirma is concerned. Now let's look at the placements, because that's what you're actually looking at. When we consider placements, we only, first of all, there are 2 measures that we work on. The first is what is submitted by them to the government of India, and that typically is 1 year late. But remember one thing, the placements don't change dramatically overnight. They take a trend to change. Over a period of time, they keep changing. So when you actually have even a 1 year old data, trust me, it is good enough. There might be a slight deviation of 5-10% in year on year, but it doesn't dramatically change from what is 100 to 50 and those kind of things, right? So what we've taken is this NIRF data. This is called NIRF data. Now, NIRF data is essentially submitted by the institution, dean, director, whoever it is, on an affidavit to the government of India for the purpose of ranking, which is National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF, right? So it is actually submitted on an affidavit, so it is that much more truthful as compared to what is in a marketing brochure, if I may say so. And more importantly, this data is very authentic in a certain sense, right? And it's slightly more detailed because it's now also feeding into the ranking system, right? Now, when we saw that data, in the year 22, which passed out in 24, there were 465 students who were admitted, of which 434 graduated. So about 31 people dropped out of something, right? Or might have, something would have happened. They would have dropped out or they would have failed or whatever it is. But 434 students graduated. From the 434 students who graduated, 395 were placed, which is a 91% placement. Now, one of the things I actually appreciate when I see this data is that normally some B schools now, what they do, this gap, they like in this case about 39 students are not placed, right? So they typically make this the balancing figure and put 39 here and claim 100%. Because if you take 39 students opted for higher studies, it simply means that others can everyone who's sat for placement, who wanted a placement is placed, right? But this institute has been very truthful and they showed 0 as a number. So to that extent, my respect for the institution for its honesty in terms of submitting numbers is up there, right? So 395 students were placed. The placement percentage is 91% and the median salary is 10.5 lakh. It's been consistent. Earlier it was about 9 lakhs about couple of years back, then 10.5 lakh. With that kind of an intake that you're dealing with, when you actually have those kind of numbers coming in, then I think it's a good number that you actually have about 90% plus students are getting placed once they graduate, right? And the numbers are pretty consistent if you see 99, 94, 91. So it's pretty consistent. Similarly, the median salary also is going up or from 8.96 to 10.5 and again 10.5. That is a decent number too, right? Now moving further, when we looked at the placement statistics in the company institute brochure, and this again we have it for 24, we saw that the average salary is 11.22 lakhs. So if you now go back, it was 10.5 lakh there, that's median salary, but average salary is 11.22 lakh. And the highest salary is 70 lakh. So that's the reason why, this average salary actually indicates a decent number for the kind of intake and graduation that they have, right? And then what is the eligibility criteria? When you look at that, about 60% weightage is given to the CAT score. So CAT score becomes very important when you want to join Nirma. Personal interview is 20%. Theme development presentation is 10%, and acad performance, which is the previous graduation and class 12th and all, is 10%. So you actually can calculate your scores in most of the things. 60 plus 10 is anywhere there in your hand, and the other 30 also you can broadly understand and deal with that. An additional score of 10 points will be given to full-time relevant working experience in professional organizations. So if you have a work ex also, another 10% also is given, right? Now this is the admission dates. You already have third week of, the registration is already closed, and right now you are in the shortlisting process. The first week of February is the selection process starts. Fourth week of February, first week of March is when the release of admissions offer are given. And the third week of June, you need to join the place and start the program also, right? Now, what is the tuition fee? When you look at that, again, it's very moderate as compared to many others, if I may say so. 6.4 lakh, typically, a lot of institutes, these are start 10-12 lakh rupees per annum and kind of a thing. This 6.4 lakh rupees, these are tuition fees only, remember that. And then about 94,000 is the hostel fees. 15,000 being activity fee and examination fee 11,000. So all put together, you're dealing with about 7.5 lakh rupees kind of a number, which is very, very decent for an institute like Nirma. And that's the reason why it actually managed to get some of the best students out there, right? If the fee is higher, we've always noticed that the merit goes down and vice versa. So this seems to be a very decent option in that sense, right? We also looked at where the alumni of Nirma are currently placed, what are they doing and those kind of things. When we looked at that data also, it was very interesting what we found. About 83% of the students who studied at Nirma Institute of Management are right now in India, right? Of which, of course, Gujarat is 59% because, they come from the state of Gujarat. But more importantly, about 8% students are in USA. That's a very good credible name. And just in 2 decades, remember that. About 4% are in Canada, right? And about 1.5-2% are in UK. Some in Germany and some in UAE. So in all, if you look at it, 17% of the students are around the world. Right. Now this is a very good metric because it essentially means that the students are skillful enough that once they join a job, they can grow in the career and move outside the country also for global career pathways also, right? Which seems to happen because 17% for a 20-year-old institution is very, very good. And these people seem to have achieved, right? And as I see it, 5% in Karnataka, Mumbai, Delhi NCR. So you actually have the alumni of Nirma spread all over the world, which is a very good thing. And that's what I would always, look for in terms of data. Because all put together, what you have is about 35,000 kind of students who've studied at Nirma over a period of last 20-25 years. And this seems to be the number. So from all this perspective, I think what we're looking for is a very, very decent option beyond the IIMs. Of course, if you get into another IIMs, you must look at that. But if you keep getting into the bottom quartile of IIMs also, you must start looking at that. Some of the DOMs are good, but if you don't get into the DOMs, these are good. So these are very decent option. The 53rd rank, it does justice to the thing that, it's right up there as a very good option. It is not essentially tier 2. It is between tier 1 and tier 2 in that sense. And if you do manage to get into this, and if you don't have any of the IIM option and all, this is a very, very good bet. It's a honest, truthful, rigorous, process-driven, culture-driven, and placement-oriented, very good B school for you to consider. Thank you so much. Namaste.